What if you could predict the future? Imagine having the ability to foresee events before they happen, giving you an unparalleled advantage in any field. In this presentation, you will learn how to harness the power of your existing business data to predict the future with AI. Stay tuned until the end of the presentation, where our speaker, Dr. Angshuman Gosh, who has worked with Disney, Target, Sony, and other major corporations, will demonstrate how to leverage AI to shape the future using the data you already have.
So as Mark said, I'm very happy to be here. We already did a podcast. I hope that went pretty well. And today I'm here delivering this keynote talk on strategies for business leaders for AI. So a little bit about myself, and before that the agenda. So it will be a short session, so I'll try to keep it very brief, but I make sure that you all take away some key takeaways which you can use either in your personal life or probably in your companies. So we'll have a bit of introduction, and then I'll talk a bit about AI strategy, right? When you all are probably leading different business function or AI in different companies. So how do you look at a strategic level rather than just looking at technical or just one project or one thing at a time? And then I'll of course talk about a lot of AI application on different functional areas, from generative AI to maybe some application in finance, some applications maybe in marketing or sales, something like that. And towards the end, probably we'll keep some time for Q&A. So with that, let's get started. So briefly about me, more than 15 years in the corporate world, worked for a lot of Fortune 100 companies. I hope many of those companies you probably know or even love. So I think everybody probably loves Disney if you are watching the Marvel movies or the Disney shows and all of that. So worked quite for some time for Disney. Then I was also instrumental in setting up the R&D center for Sony in India. So Sony R&D was part of, and as part of that we developed a lot of AI application that was implemented for different Sony tool. And as you know, Sony is one of the tech company and also electronics and TV and so many things Sony has, as well as into media and movies. And also Target, those of you who have been to US, you know that Target is one of the largest retail company in US. And I've been also in Singapore working for a company called Grab. So if you visit Singapore, they're the leading ride sharing, food delivery, payment services. And have given probably 100 plus talks across different institutes and conferences, and have got a lot of awards as well. So that's briefly about me. Briefly about my company before we get into the strategies for AI discussion. So we are basically an AI company, right? I think Mark and his team is doing fantastic work in evangelizing AI and teaching people courses, a lot of things. Our approach is a bit different. We have a platform where we have ready to use AI tool, right? So a lot of you probably are interested in AI, you're learning about AI, but after that you want to practically implement it, right? And that's why many times we face challenges because AI is costly, right? You need resources, you need compute, you need GPUs, and even after that you hire a bunch of people or consultant, it takes you time, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, right? So it takes time, effort and money. So while I worked at the corporate, I realized everybody wants to use AI. That's not a question anymore, right? I don't think you all put effort to come here if you thought AI is useless, right? You all think it is useful, so you are here. Now next question will be, how do you use it, right? And then it is a complicated process because you have to learn math, statistics, this, that, computer science, cloud platform, so many things. So the reason we created the company, and Minerva, by the way, probably a lot of you already know, is one of the most important goddess in the Roman civilization. She is the goddess of wisdom and knowledge, right? And we are creating a platform where we can use artificial intelligence with the click of a button, and I'll show you probably towards the end, so you'll realize how, right? So our idea or philosophy is that how do we democratize AI so that those who have the interest, either individually or as a corporate, to use AI, they don't have to wait or spend a lot of money. They can just go log in, click and done, right? Like you are using a smartphone or app, how do we make AI like that? And kind of services we already have are in the areas of generative AI, conversational, then forecasting, customer analytics, geospatial and personalization. I'll talk about a little bit probably throughout the presentation. Now before I start the discussion, a quiz, right? All of you can look at the screen. So either 1, 2 or 3 of these images are real, right? So you have to tell which 1, 2 or 3 images are real. It can be 3, 2 or 1. So which ones are the real ones? None. Left one? Yeah. A is the one? Middle one? Right one? None of them. None of them? Why? This one. So whoever said A, why A? Oh, I am real, rest all not? Okay, so all these are created by AI, right? Probably all of you are very smart, so some of you could detect. But most of the session I do, people will identify at least one of them as real, right? Because as a human, we probably detect faces, but if you know observe carefully, it's very difficult to detect, right? And if you are able to detect today, I can guarantee you after 2, 3, 5 years, you won't be able to tell if something is AI created or human created, right? You know, and maybe somebody will give a speech like this, and you won't be able to tell that is real or artificial. Cool. Before we get into the strategy for AI, I want to set the context a little bit. I think all of you are interested in AI, but maybe you have different degrees of knowledge about it, right? And when you talk about AI, some people today think AI is just ChatGPT, right? So I want to break the myth that AI is not just ChatGPT, right? So AI is much broader than it, right? And as Mark said, the term is not new. It was coined in 1940s. And in the early days of AI, AI was any intelligence that is mimicking a human intelligence, right? So when a computer could do 2 plus 2, or when you used a calculator, that's also basic form of AI. But of course, when we are talking about AI today, probably we are talking about more advanced use cases, so generative AI, chatbots, self-driving cars, so many applications, right? But broadly, artificial intelligence is the superset, which is any intelligence which is the replication of natural intelligence. So whether it is like human intelligence or animal intelligence, how if a machine can replicate it, that's AI. Out of that, there is a subset, as you can see in the diagram, machine learning, where it is some set of AI algorithm where machine learns automatically from the data without a human telling what to do, right? It's different from software engineering, because in software engineering or statistical learning, a statistician or software engineer tells what to do, step 1, 2, 3. Right? In case of machine learning, we just feed a lot of data, system learns from it automatically and gives you a prediction or result. And out of that, there is a subset which is called deep learning, where we use deep neural network, right, which mimics the human brain. That is the neural network of the brain it tries to replicate. And out of that, there is a subset, a small one, which is generative AI. And ChatGPT is just one example of it, right? So today, of course, I'll talk a little bit about generative AI, but I'll try to give also examples of other AI, because as per if you're in an organization or using AI, there's so many things we don't know about, because what has happened because of ChatGPT, probably AI has got overhyped, I would say, right? But people don't know about other AI applications, right? So if you think of your business, there are a lot of business problems where AI can help, but a chatbot cannot solve that problem, right? So we'll talk about some of those, and probably you'll be able to relate to it. Now, machine learning I already talked about is one of the most important areas of AI. That's why it has become so popular last 10 years. How this works, basically, you need to have some historic data. You feed to a machine learning algorithm, it creates a model, right? So you don't have to tell it what to do, step 1, 2, 3. It will learn from the data that you are giving, and we'll show you live examples also. And once the model has been trained, this process is called training. Once the model is trained, then once you have a new data, you can use that to predict. Example. So example can be, let's say you have past sales data of your company, right, or your customers, right? And if you just feed the data, it will learn the pattern, right? Seasonality, trend, price impact, and a lot of other things. And then it can predict in future that what the prices will be or what the sales will be, right? Or say weather. If you put the past weather data, it can learn the pattern and predict how the weather will be tomorrow in Dubai, and so on and so forth, right? Or take the example, for example, that you have a lot of customer, you want to understand their value, right? You don't know which customer is valuable, who is not, how to do that. And then let's say you have a lot of customers on your platform, how do you predict which customer may leave your platform? That's called churn prediction, right? So all these will be example of machine learning. And what you need to do, you have to get a lot of data, you have to feed to the model, it will learn automatically, and in the future it can predict, right, what will happen. So why it is becoming so popular now, right? As I said, the term started in 1940s, but it is getting more popular now, right? I don't think we had so many AI sessions 5, 10, 20 years back, isn't it? So why now? The biggest reason are not the AI model itself. Some of these models are old. They are created in 1980s, 90s, or 2000, right? These models are not new. But what has changed is that we have a lot of data now available, right? Thanks to the internet, social media, digitalization, right? Lot of data is getting captured. All of you are using smartphones, computers. So whatever you are doing is getting captured, right? Facebook is learning from what you are doing. Google is learning. They're customizing ad and other kind of thing, right? And every company is going through digital transformation process, right? So if you do digital transformation, what you are doing, you are going to analog to digital, and data is getting captured, right? So data availability has increased manifold, and it's going to increase further in future. Then storage and processing has become so cheap, right? There was a time, I think some of you probably have seen something like a floppy, and it used to be 1.44 MB, right? And you used to think that's a good storage. And now probably everybody has a terabyte or more of storage or hard disk or something like that. And if you go to cloud, it's kind of unlimited, right? So we don't think even our phone that we are carrying, probably the iPhone we are carrying, this has a better processor and storage than the computers which we used to use probably 20 years back. So storage and processing has become much better, much cheaper. And along with that, we have tools like R and Python, using which we can do it for free. A lot of easy to use models and platforms are also coming. And this trend, I would bet, is going to continue, because today only your computer and mobile phones are digitized. Maybe your watch is also getting digitized. But in future, probably the tables, chair, bed, refrigerator, everything around us become smart devices connected to internet. You have heard of IoT, Internet of Things, sensor and all. And with that, you can imagine how much data we are going to have. More data we are going to have, there is more scope of analytics, data and AI. But coming to the strategy point of view, how you should look at it is that you should not start with AI, right? That's one thing I would tell, because many companies and industries may not even have the data, right? Now, if you don't have the data, and if you come to me and say, Angshu, you have a lot of money, you have the resources, we want to do AI, right? I would be very scared, right? And that's what is happening in many industries, right? They have not been traditionally capturing the data, or data quality is low, data governance is not there, and digital transformation has not happened. If they want to jump to AI, that's not going to happen. The way AI works, it learns from the data. If you don't have the data, AI cannot work, right? It will be garbage in, garbage out. You'll put the data, data is not good, you'll get bad result, you'll blame the AI model saying that, hey, AI is bullshit, it doesn't work for my company, my industry, my use case, right? So don't do that. First start with digital transformation, right? Data is your processes. Collect the data, make sure data quality is good, right? If your data quality is not good, don't jump to the next step, right? Once your data transformation has happened, that is why I put that as a foundation, then you can move to data analytics. And as part of that, some of it you are already doing. Let's say you are doing descriptive analytics, right? Say you have an Excel file, you do some calculation, average, trend, patterns, analyze the data over a period of time, etc., right? So that's where data analytics come, and there is a nice framework by Gartner which you can follow. You can start with descriptive analytics, then go to diagnostic, analyze why more something happened, then go to predictive and prescriptive and advanced AI like deep learning, generative AI and all, right? So move in this order. First digital transformation, collect good quality data, then do analytics, then move towards advanced AI. Now this is the process I would recommend, right? If you are going for AI adoption from a strategic point of view. First define smart objectives, right? And not just for AI, any project you are doing, first set the smart objective. You all probably know, but you can see the overview here. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. So you set the objective clearly, that what this project or this thing should do. Once you have done that, do data driven analysis, right? So analyze the past data, see what is working, what is not working, where I can apply it. Then, as I said, digital transformation is very important. Once you have done, as I mentioned, you can go for traditional analytics, then the advanced AI technique like deep learning, generative AI and all of that, and continuously improve the process and review, see where you can improve the whole thing. Now, as I mentioned, I will not delve deeper into it because we have limited time. If you are interested, read this framework by Gartner, that will help you in your analytics journey. Start with descriptive analytics, which is what happened in the past. Then analyze why something happened, that's diagnostic. Then predictive, prescriptive, I'll talk about a little bit. So during that time, I'll discuss, which is how do you predict the future? Okay, I know the past. First two are about the past, but we want to predict the future and control the future, right? That's where predictive and prescriptive comes into picture. So let's go for some applications. Again, a quiz. This one should be easy for all of you because you're in Dubai. So which are these two things, left and right? Brands, okay, and in which location? Can you identify? Which one, left or right? Both?
Left one is Dubai Mall.
Are you sure?
Or Dubai Hills Mall.
Okay. Okay. So right one is the Dubai Mall. That's correct. Left one is Iron Orchard. That's in Singapore. So two of the cities I love, and both are the two of the prominent luxury malls, best of the luxury malls in the world probably. Now, if I tell you are probably running one of the shop or the entire mall, right? And every brand is selling so many products. Correct. One of the key problem for each of them, which is common, right, across all the brands, is that which product, how many unit is gonna sell? Yes or no, right? And that's probably problem for everybody, or something that we all want to know, because if you don't do it well, everything else doesn't work, right? Because if you cannot predict what will sell and how many unit, rest of your planning goes for a toss, because it has problem both the ways. Because if you over predict, that is how many will sell, then you will have extra stock, you have the inventory cost, right? And then you have to give discount to get rid of the inventory. On the other hand, if you don't have the stock in the store, many a times it has happened to us also. You go to the store, you want our size, and they say, oh, we have a bigger size or smaller size, your thing is not there. And as a consumer, we are demanding, we move to the competition, isn't it? So one of the most important thing I think is the forecasting. But till that, most people are doing forecasting very manually. or at best what they are doing, they are using Excel files, some formulas and all. Especially if you have thousands of product, doing it manually is very difficult. You may have a 10-member purchasing and sales team, but if you have thousands of SKUs, they cannot go through all the data, humanly impossible, right? And that's where I think AI can play a very big role. Of course, I'll not get into detail, I'll show you a little bit demo probably later. But in this case, basically you need to do, you have to just collect your data, right? And either you can build it in-house, hire a consultant, or if you use a tool like ours, then you can just collect the data, go there, upload it, boom, that's it, done. You get the prediction immediately, right? So this is an actual example we worked with on one of the clients in the Americas, and they gave a retail data, and you can see the fluctuation. It's pretty difficult, right? It's going up and down based on so many factors, right? And if I told you to do it manually, I think it's very difficult because sometimes going up and down. So the blue one is the actual and the orange one is the prediction from our AI model, and you can see it's matching pretty closely. Of course, extreme spikes is not capturing, but it's getting pretty close, and I bet that any humans will find it very difficult to do, isn't it? Coming to another use case, right? Probably all of you came from different places today, right? And probably some of you took a cab. And I work for this company by the Grab. If you visit Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, probably you would have taken their cab services. So how does it work, right? Like, or you are ordering food. Let's say here we have the Karim, right? So you're ordering cab or food. And it's a complex problem because let's say at the same time, all of you started from different places. Everybody wanted to come to Opus for this event, right? And you put your location and they have to find a cab near to you. And there can be hundreds of cab around you. So if you think about it, it's a very complex problem, right? And at the same time, if Dubai has a million people, so million people are at least few thousand are searching for cab, and there are few thousand driver around. If you want to calculate all the possibilities, it's 1000 multiplied by 1000. Or if there are million people, then million multiplied by millions permutation combination. And out of that, you have to select the optimum. Which cab is nearest to you? Which cab will take you to this place in the shortest time or route, isn't it? So it's a pretty complex problem, and you have to use AI to solve it, right? So this problem is called assignment problem, right? That people are in different locations, drivers, and restaurants are in different locations. So how do we match the restaurants and the driver, isn't it? And similarly, if you're ordering cab, you're at a different location, cab is at a different location, how do we match? And if you think for one person, still you can do. But if you have to do for thousands of it, right? If you're running a company, let's say a supply chain company, a logistics company, or any company, you want to deliver goods to the customers, right? And people are sitting at different places, your product is at different places. So how do you match which driver or truck will get assigned to which product, what it will carry? And not only that, once you have done the assignment problem, then you have to also find the optimum route, that which road it should take. And then you have to also predict ETA. In fact, some of the best companies till they don't give ETA. They just say we'll deliver next day or deliver after 3 hours or something like that, right? So these problems are pretty complex problem, right? And AI is a very good example for that. So matching, some driver to restaurant or anything else, then planning the route and also predicting the ETA. Let's go to another example, and this is probably, I think, more interesting. So I'll show example of this as well. So this probably you have already used, right? So you have used, I guess, ChatGPT. So I'll not talk about ChatGPT, right? And you go to ChatGPT. I think if you have not used, you must use probably. I am not saying it will give you always correct answer, but it is very useful because it has a lot of knowledge, and you can learn a lot, do things quickly. So the way this generative AI works is that personal assistant. For example, you can go there, ask question and get answer, right? And we have also built our own Minerva AI assistant. So if you want to do anything in Dubai, let's say you are here and you want to ask which are the good restaurants nearby, right? Which food they are serving, or how do you go from place A to place B? So any kind of question you have, or you want to learn about AI, you want to learn about data science, or you want to learn about physics, you can ask and it will give you answer, right? It's like working as your personal assistant. Then taking it one step further, what ChatGPT cannot do is that we have a lot of our internal data. ChatGPT, one problem is that it can hallucinate and give you wrong response. Because why that happens? Because it is pulling information from the internet. And that may not be applicable to you and your business, right? You have a particular company, and your company has launched a HR policy today, and you want to know how many leaves I can get, what is the increment I am going to get, etc., right? Now that answer has to come from that particular document, right? So you need an AI which can now read your document, understand the detail, and now you can ask questions so that you can get answer from that particular document. Or let's say my friend Kunal is here, he is working in finance, right? And in finance, you have a financial document, balance sheet or P&L. Now that's not like a text document, isn't it? Because that has a structure, that has number, that has rows and columns. You cannot just pick a number and say it is close to another number, so they are related. No, it's not like that, right? Liability has a meaning there. Asset has a meaning there, right? Cash flow has a meaning there. So you have to understand finance, you have to understand number, and a lot of calculation may be involved. So if you have a financial document and I told you there is a tool where you're going to upload the financial document, you don't have to learn anything about finance. You just upload it, it will learn from it. You can ask it any question, tell it to do calculation also, and tell it to also suggest is it a good company to invest, right? I think that will, make our life very easy, isn't it? So then I just wanted to show them a bit of demo because I talked about a lot of tools, but if we see, then I think that is believing. Okay, so I'll not get much time, so I'll go very quickly. So let me show one example with forecasting that I mentioned. So I told if you have your data, now of course you can learn forecasting, take 3 months, hire people, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, $1 million, and build that tool. And I'm sure one of my friend is here, he is from Unilever. I'm sure Unilever is spend millions of dollars, hire dozens of data scientists doing it. But then if you want to do for your company, right, that's a lot of investment, time and effort. So in our platform, how does it work? I just go here, right? This has a passenger data for some airlines over the last couple of years, right, in thousands. And I just uploaded the file. It will detect the columns automatically. So I want to, in the file, it has detected that month column is there, which is over a period of time. And it has also detected there is a passengers column for the airlines, right? I just selected, and then, okay, so I can say I want to do a monthly forecasting. In your case, you want to do say daily or weekly. And then I want to say for how many period I want to do the prediction. Let's say I want to do for 10 months, correct? And that's it, I click. So it's learning from the data that what are the patterns, how the things are going up or down, right? And then it is doing all the analysis, doing all the data cleaning and everything. And then it will do the prediction also. And along with that, yes, cool. So how many seconds it took? I did it live in front of you, right? So you can see that it has already done, and I have already received the output by email. You can, you can also download here the result, the predictions. And along with that, we're also telling you that is it good or bad, right? Because you want to know, is my forecasting good or bad, right? So as you can see, the gray one is the actual sales, right? Actual sales or passengers. And the purple one is the predicted from the model in the past. So we are matching it's correct or not. Pretty close, the two lines. And we're also giving the future prediction that, okay, so it is till June. So July, August, September, October onwards, how the sales will be. And as you can see, the pattern is quite varying because the airlines, right, sales go up and down based on seasons and other factor. We're also giving the error, right, and you can get the prediction, how good it is, etc., right? So I hope you got some idea how this has worked, right? And thank you, Mark, for having me.